Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Fully Alive podcast, the show where we explore what it really takes to elevate your leadership, expand your capacity, and move beyond surviving into truly living. I'm your host, Dr. Mary Meduna-Gross, and today we're diving into a message I know touches every high performer and mission driven leader I've ever known, that you can't thrive by controlling harder. We're going to unpack why this is true, what keeps us stuck in survival mode, and how our nervous system plays a surprisingly big role in whether you make the leap into thriving in a creative life. So, this trap of survival mode that we're talking about, let's bring in that energy leadership framework to help us um, ground ourselves in what we're talking about here. So, think about a vertical line here. And on the lower half of this vertical line, we have our defense levels of energy. The energy leadership model, we call them catabolic. It's where we're operating from fear, scarcity, control, competition, and judgment. So those are the below the line states. And then the above the line states where we are now into that creative anabolic energy levels where you access curiosity, cooperation, purpose, innovation, and trust. But here's something essential to understand. You can't operate both below and above the line at the same time because these energies are mutually exclusive. You're either in survival mode, tightening, defending, and controlling, right? It's all about constriction, or you're in the thriving mode, which is expanding, exploring, and creating. You see how these two are um, mutually exclusive. One is constricting and one is about expanding. And so here's that trap. When we're in the survival state, everything that you know, everything that you see, all the evidence seems to confirm that you should stay here. So your nervous system is gathering evidence that your fears are justified, that the threats are real, and that your guarded, cautious perspective is right. It's like driving around in first gear all the time, insisting that you can't shift up because the road ahead looks too steep. And this is why that old advice of, just see the glass of half full often doesn't land. Because when you are in deep into the survival perspective and you're being told that you have a choice on perspective, it feels like you're arguing with reality. And so here is the leap of faith that is required here. We know that what we focus on expands. And so when you focus on lack, you're going to find more lack. If you focus on possibility, you're going to start to notice more openings. But you have to take that leap first. You have to believe before you see the evidence. And here's where that nervous system comes in. Our default systems, including our nervous systems, are built for survival. They're wired to detect threats, hold on to control, and keep us in familiar patterns. So even if you want to leap into this thriving, creating state, if your nervous system is dysregulated, if it's locked into that fight or flight or freeze, you won't be able to. You can try to think positive. You can try to systemize surrender, but your body will hold you back if it doesn't feel safe. And then this is where we fall into patterns of self-judgment. What's wrong with me? Why can't I just let this go? Why am I still stuck? Because you're thinking of from the perspective of above the line energy state, but you're being below the line. You're being defensive, and you can't do both at the same time. So here's what this looks like in our day-to-day lives. Here's a simple story. I had a client who woke up, and before she left the house at 8 o'clock in the morning, her day had already fallen apart. Her child was sick. The key meeting that she was preparing for that day got moved, and her carefully planned calendar went off the rails. Now, in the past, she would have panicked. She would tighten her grip and stressed herself into exhaustion by trying to fix everything. But on this day, she paused. She took a breath. She noticed a tightness in her chest, and she reminded herself, I can handle this. I'm adaptable. I don't have to control everything. I can meet this moment as it is. In fact, I'm going to look for the gift in this moment. And for her, the gift of that moment was that her meeting got canceled, which meant now that she was able to take care of her child, right? She didn't have to send him to daycare or sick or cancel anything else, right? It was canceled for her. This was a gift. But if she would have been all upset about this, she would have never have recognized the gift that was given her so that she could stay home with her sick child. She shifted from survival into creativity, not because the situation changed, but because she did. And that's the leap that we're talking about here. So before we close today, I want to offer you a quick nervous system check-in. Wherever you are, I invite you just to take in one slow, easy breath in and a long, relaxed exhale out. Whenever you can extend your exhale slightly longer than your inhale, that's just one more little way that we tell our nervous system we're okay, we are safe in this moment. One more easy breath in and a long, relaxed exhale out. Great. Now, just notice what's happening in your body. Do you feel activated? Is your heart racing? Is your muscles tense? Are you ready to pounce? Or do you feel collapsed and frozen, afraid to lift your head up, afraid to check your emails, afraid to check your voicemails? Are you avoiding things? Or do you happen to feel alert, relaxed, and present? Now, while you're here, just invite a little more softness into your shoulders, into your jaw, and into your belly. Remember, you don't need to force yourself into a shift. Just noticing is a powerful first step. You can come back to this at any time, before a meeting, before a stressful moment, or when you notice yourself tightening into control. Here's my invitation for you this week. One, let something be imperfect, or, or allow a plan to change, or just take one small moment off script. Maybe you drive a different way to work, or you make one small little change outside of your normal routine. And just watch how you handle this. Notice your energy. Notice your body. Notice what opens up when you loosen the grip. This is how you build trust, not through force, but through practice. Thank you Thank you so much for joining me today on this episode of the Fully Alive podcast. If this episode sparks something for you, I'd love to hear about it. Send me a message, tag me on social, or send me an email. Until next time, remember, you are more adaptable than you think, and thriving isn't about controlling harder. It's about trusting yourself and taking the lead one breath at a time. Take care, stay curious, and keep practicing.